Today, we're going to be talking about how do you become more self-aware? What does it mean to kind of be more in touch with who you are? And some of the stuff that kind of came up in my mind was ask more questions. And I think when we take an approach of being curious and inquisitive, that makes us more self-aware. It makes us more in touch with who we are and potentially helps us be more in touch with the people around us. That sort of leads to the next thought that I had, which was listening to others, listening to yourself, taking time to pause and actually listen to people around you, and even reflecting on yourself, sitting down, maybe doing some meditation and allowing your brain to just have some thoughts, allowing your psyche to do its thing and being present and listening to that. And so I think it's also important to not only ask questions of other people and listen to ourselves, but ask questions about our own beliefs and our own core values and our own truths. Where did those things come from? Did we learn them as a kid growing up in our family? Did we have those things sort of piled onto us from society? I think when we take time to reflect on what we hold dear and true, that also improves our self-awareness, our awareness of who we are. I think it's important to question your beliefs and to question them from time to time because they do change. And I think it's easy for us to sort of get stuck in a certain way of thinking that maybe hasn't evolved, and that can be kind of dangerous. I would say it's also important to reflect on your impact on others. So the behaviors, the ways of thinking, your core values, the things that you hold true, how have those impacted the people around you? How do you influence your friends or your family? Maybe call that into question as well. The other thing that I was thinking about, and this starts to get more into like how do you improve or grow in self-awareness, and I was thinking more about like traveling or writing and journaling. So I think it's important when we do travel to maybe take some time to write things down or journal. Again, maybe reflect on your travel experiences. But travel in general, I think, is a great way to expand your knowledge, expand your beliefs as well. When you step out of your comfort zone and maybe get involved with other people, other cultures, other societies, that expands your knowledge base. And I think sometimes when you do that, it can change some of your beliefs, things that you've held true. You might see some counterexamples out in the world. If you only stay within your bubble, within your local community, you might sort of have a jaded perspective on the world around you. You don't have that global view. So I think it's really important to do travel, especially international, get out there, see other cultures. And then sort of my kind of final thoughts were around kind of reading more, get more involved with psychology or philosophy. Again, those will give you other perspectives that maybe you haven't thought about, especially with philosophy, to sort of dive into some of the great literary works about philosophy and expand your world in that regard. And while you're doing that, I think it's okay to acknowledge that you might make mistakes along the way. You might have certain beliefs and truths that you held dear that maybe are not serving you anymore, especially if you do some travel and you see other ways of life out there. You might question some of the stuff you've held so dear. And I think that's okay. It's okay to, again, make those mistakes, make adjustments, grow and learn. I mean, making mistakes is the only way you can actually grow and learn. And I think through doing that, you actually become a bit more resilient. So when maybe you're faced with something, a new reality. Maybe something happened in your local community or something happened in like a world event that sort of shakes maybe your foundation a little bit. Having these experiences where you've traveled or you've sat down with yourself or you've done a lot of reflection helps you become a bit more resilient to things that maybe differ from the way that you think. So resilience is a good thing. That's also, I believe, a part of being self-aware, is to be able to be resilient and adjust and change and be flexible And last but not least, know that there's always more to learn. All right, till next time, peace.